We have another rarity from the EMEAPP collection. This instrument here is called the Syrinx. It's an analog monosynth from about 1982-83. Actually built in Holland, one of the few synthesizer designs to come out from the Netherlands. Now this is a synth very much along the lines of, say, the ARP Odyssey or the Mini Moog. There were, by this time, by 1982, there were many monophonic little synths out there. So this one really had to be different. One of the first differences here is we have a pitch bender. Here's just a single oscillator. I'm working with the pressure sensors here. This is really only one of 5 instruments that were ever done with this faceplate. Makes it even more rare. This beautiful gray metallic cover. It's really quite striking. And what's interesting is the pitch bends are right where your hand would go. Also what's interesting is the overall volume control is right handy to your left hand. You would typically play this instrument with your right hand, and instead of putting the volume control way over on the right, the way most everyone else does, they put it right here where you can set your volume. So evidently some thought was done. Now let's take off the, let's just bypass the VCA and hear the sound. That's one oscillator, mixing an octave. Makes a nice fat sound. Now let's add a subharmonic. Portamento controls are easily available through laying out your left hand. Now you have 2 oscillators, a sub-oscillator, a ring modulator, and noise. It's not that far different from the Odyssey or the Mini Moog. Where things get very different is over here in the voltage-controlled filter section. You actually have what seems to be 3 filters. 3 separate filters, all operating on the same waveform, and you have a choice here of how you have the filters combined. In other words, this knob is called VCF routing, and it really gives different filtering effects. Let's go to the simplest. Now if I'm going to hold down a key, I'm going to hold down a key and let's see the filters, and let's see what it means to have several filters available simultaneously. So I can put peaks and valleys in. I can use it like a notch filter. Here's another filter that's like a band reject or notch filter that I can do resonance on. All 3 of these filters are voltage controlled from either the ADSR, which is sent over here. There's 2 envelope generators, Or there's a couple of LFOs over here, which are very handy with variable shapes. Let's see. We have some very nice programmable things. The ability to instantly shift octaves. It actually was, this synth came just before MIDI and just before patch memory. You know, if they had only waited a year or two, this would have had MIDI and it would have had patch memory, which would have made it, well, compatible with anything today. Still, this is a very fine product here. The touch controls are very interesting. They're really proportional. They're actually fairly useful for expression. I can do both pitch bend and vibrato. Like the ARP Odyssey before it, this also has a variety of syncs between the oscillator. You can have a hard or soft sync. Let's take a soft sync and let's detune these things. It's, sign of a good synth is you want to play with it for a while. And this is something I could spend hours with, just exploring what the filters do is amazing. Having multiple peaks at the same time. Just filtering the noise here. So this does a lot of things that usually we take a modular synth to do. It really is a completely different take on a monosynth. And I hope somebody gets this design and puts it together with a computer-controlled patch and MIDI controls. Because this is truly very interesting, an original work on an analog monosynth. The Syrinx from the Netherlands. Great rarity, wonderful machine. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Perfect for Halloween and other spooky things. Great instrument, and most unusual filtering. Sort of thing that would probably take many hours to explore here at EMEAPP.